Apologies, we've lost Michelle there. We'll try and bring her later in the bulletin. Moving on now, Melbourne homicide detectives haven't ruled out foul play in a deadly house fire that killed 4 people. Vodafone could face a hefty compensation claim after allegations private customer details have been made public. Crown Princess Mary's royal twins may visit Australia this year.
Goodness.
We call him in on this one?
You may have missed the weekend show when Dad was swearing at the television at the Aussies last week. And there may have been a little bit of throwing going on.
I reckon we know what Mac would think about this.
I don't think he'd think that Shane Watson would be worth $2 million after he ran himself out last week. But anyway.
It does seem a little extreme. I think it's a bit... it makes me a bit uncomfortable, especially in India. You know, there's so much poverty in India. And, you know, it's an absurd amount of money to be paying a sports person, I think.
Yeah, okay.
It's crazy.
All right, guys.
It is 6:30, news time now on Sunrise. Homicide detectives have joined the investigation into a house fire in Melbourne that's killed 3 children and a woman. Residents in southeast Queensland are being warned to prepare for flash flooding as more torrential rain falls across the region. Police in the United States have released a surveillance camera photo of a man they believe may have been involved in a shooting rampage in Arizona. The celebrity baby boom continues with Victoria Beckham announcing she's pregnant.
So, over to you, Sarah.
I have heard that one before, but I think it is quite funny.
Hey.
58. We'll check in with the soapbox, Sarah.
What's happening?
Well, yes, we were talking about the shooting in the US and whether or not, you know, something like that could happen here in Australia. And Andrew from Victoria emailed in and he said, I think a shooting is still possible here in Australia, even with our current gun laws. They only stop the honest people from getting guns. All it takes is a little cash and a phone call and you can have a handgun.
Oh, wow.
So...
My reaction's the same as yours,
I
Sarah.
don't really... I must be mixing with the wrong types of people.
But as always, the soapbox going off with this. Anytime we mention gun laws, of course, everyone's got
Gets
to reactions. Okay. Thanks, Sarah. Time for the news of the day, and Sarah is back with us bang on 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, everyone. Police have described a Melbourne house fire as horrific after 4 bodies were found inside the home. It's believed 3 of the victims are children. Authorities in the United States will formally charge 22-year-old Jared Lee Loeffner later this morning in relation to the shooting deaths of 6 people in Arizona. Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords remains in a critical condition in hospital, but doctors are cautiously optimistic she'll recover.
Congresswoman Giffords is able to communicate with us this morning through following of simple commands, and we're very encouraged by that.
Police have also released a photo of a person of interest they'd like to speak to about the case. Adelaide police are investigating whether a house fire in the city's northwest was deliberately lit. Fire crews arrived at Ridleyton after midnight to find the home completely engulfed in flames. The roof had collapsed and firefighters had to use a saw to cut open the garage to reach the flames. It was feared an elderly woman was inside, but she wasn't home at the time. No one was injured, but the property was destroyed. A man has had a lucky escape overnight after smashing his car into a power pole in Sydney. A Sydney woman is lucky to be alive after a police officer saved her from a capsized kayak south of Perth. It is 7:30, news time again on Sunrise. Melbourne firefighters are battling an intense factory blaze in the city's north this morning. Southeast Queensland is copping a drenching this morning as the state's flood crisis moves south. In the United States, the FBI is investigating a disturbing video apparently shot by the man accused of gunning down 6 people in Arizona yesterday. The first day of a landmark referendum in Sudan has seen tens of thousands of people turn out to have their say. Sabi, the bomb detection dog, will be released from quarantine in Sydney today.
Something patriotic and passionate.
What's Australia Day mean to you?
Barbecues.
Barbecues?
I think it's actually a great day to just recognise our country and all the great things we do. I think it's a really hand-on-your-heart day, Australia Day.
So Sarah was right. Barbecue.
Yeah, exactly right.
Snacks and beer.
You just summed it up a bit better than you did.
But it is great that we do have a day where we say, this is Australia Day and this is what we're going to do. You know, and we get together and do stuff.
Bang on 8 o'clock. Hope your Monday's looking okay. It's news time. Here's Sarah.
Thank you, Larry. Hello again. Queensland's flood crisis has moved to the state's southeast, with Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast preparing for flash flooding today. US authorities have just charged 22-year-old Jared Lee Loeffner with attempted assassination. Victoria police are continuing investigations into a house fire after the bodies of 3 children and a woman were found inside. Melbourne firefighters have battled a massive blaze which has destroyed a factory in the city's west. Victoria Beckham has become the latest celebrity to announce her pregnancy. We have one pen between two, so we share it.
For the news, hello again, Sarah.
Hello, Sam. Hello, everyone. Autopsies will be carried out today on the bodies of a woman and 3 children found in a burning home in Melbourne yesterday. Authorities in the United States have charged 22-year-old Jared Lee Loeffner. Southeast Queensland is copping a drenching this morning as the state's flood crisis moves south. Thousands of people have already voted in Sudan's referendum. Crown Princess Mary's royal twins may visit Australia this year, according to their proud Aussie grandfather.
Don't you?
Very unusual. It must be Ugly Monday.
Well, thank goodness it's only Monday and no Ugly Monday. That would have been absolutely completely different.
Wouldn't have shown you that.
So we're not sure why. We'll send our security team out there to check it before we go
we're
out.
not sending Roy out.
More Duckworth-Lewis explanations tomorrow.
Yep, we'll get right into that for
We
you
need to
later.
know.
That is.
And more beautiful pronunciations of tennis names.
Yeah, we hope you have a good
See you
night.
later.
We'll see you tomorrow nice
See ya.
and early. Bye-bye.
Sunrise returns tomorrow from 6 a.m.